Hey there guys, I'm SonicGhost and welcome back to some more Let's Play Shantae. Hi again, I found the twinkle! Huh? Ha! That oughta shut you up. Thanks for being a perfect little stooge. Now that you collected all 4 stones for me, my Tinkerbats can complete their steam-powered project. Stop by for the grand unveiling. It's sure to be a smash from coast to coast. Ooh, ho, ho. I'm free! But now what do? Whiskey has all 4 stones. There must be some way to find her hideout and end this insanity once and for all. Mimic will know what to do. I better head to Scuttletown. Well, as we're on our way back to Scuttletown, I got some errands to run here first, so hopefully in the meantime, Whiskey doesn't complete the steam engine. It should be fine. I hope. But in the last episode, we made our way through Twinkle Palace, and by doing so, we got ourselves a final transformation here of the game, the Harpy. Now with the Harpy, we can get all the remaining heart holders, fireflies, talismans, and even warp squids here in the game. And that's what we're going to be doing in this video. As we're making our way around Sequin Land, collecting all of our remaining collectibles in the game, Whiskey completely tricked us. It worked for her. She disguised herself as a guardian genie of Bandit Town to gain Shantae's trust, and it worked. As by doing so, we collected the final stone for her without even realizing it. So, since we already had 3 of the 4 stones, Whiskey found it was much easier for us to collect the final stone and then steal all 4 right as soon as we collected it. And it was a smart play, so we gotta stop her. But for now, again, on a little bit of a cleanup duty, so don't mind me. That firefly we just collected, we could have got as early as we got the spider transformation, but I opted to wait until late in the game after beating Twinkle Palace, simply just because it just makes things a lot easier in backtracking purposes. Heading down this little cave from breaking open the stump here, we can see there's a kid just sitting in this little area on his own, so let's see what he wants. I love watching cute girls dance. The more the better. It looks like this kid wants to see a performance, so you know what? Let's go ahead and give him a show. Let's stand on a little makeshift stage that he made and use our twin mints here. Using the twin mint, we'll make a clone of ourselves. By doing this, now we have double the magic power, which means double the dancing. Let's go ahead and transform into the monkey, and by doing just any kind of a dance for this kid, he gets so excited he flies up into the spikes above him and dies. Not the reaction I was expecting from seeing a dance, but sure. Moving the kid out of the way, we'll gain access here to our heart holder, so that's another heart collected. We could have got this one around the same time we were making our way over to Cackle Mound, but I, again, waited until now just for cleanup's sake, making things easier on us. But now that we see what the twin mints do, you can kind of see why I haven't really been using these all that much in our adventure. Twin mints, while making a clone of yourself, giving yourself basically double the attacking power, it's not really an item I find that much of a use for personally. It's a cool item, but again, there's just better things to do, or even better items to use as well. So we're not going to be using it at this point forward. I mainly just use the twin mints just to get the one-set heart holder. But if you do want to use these, hey, they're only like a 5-pack you buy, so you get plenty just from buying one item. And if you don't really care for it, hey, you tried it once, and now you have a couple more to use to get a heart holder later. But here on this screen specifically, we want to go ahead and fly over to the left, as there's another firefly we can actually collect here that we couldn't have gotten until we have the Harpy. And now with the Harpy, we can go ahead and grab this firefly over on the top of this ledge. There you go, that's another firefly collected. We're almost done collecting all the fireflies here in the game, but now it's daytime, so we can't get any more, unfortunately. Which is fine, because right here, we're actually at the entry point of Cackle Mound. And there is a warp squid located in the said labyrinth that we didn't collect, simply because we needed the Harpy transformation to collect it. Now with the Harpy, we can go ahead and make our way back into this labyrinth along with the Golem Mines to get the remaining 2 warp squids we need to collect in the game. Let's go ahead and transform back into a human, as for some reason the transformations can't go through doors. Not really sure why, but alright, sure. Let's transform back into Shantae. We're back here in Cackle Mound. So here in Cackle Mound, let's go ahead and transform into the monkey so that we can go ahead, climb up this little shortcut as we're making our way back over to a room here on the top right portion of the said dungeon. It was a room we actually needed the spider transformation to climb on the top of the ceiling to get to a key. Here there's a bunch of slides we can go ahead and ride down. As we're falling down here, pay attention to the top right. You'll just barely see a little opening in the wall, and this is your hint that there's something up there. We can only gain access to this little cutout using the Harpy transformation. So let's transform into the Harpy, fly on up, which can be a little awkward because of the momentum of the Harpy. You can hit either the spikes or the sloped surface and fall right back down. But there you go, we got ourselves the warp squid of this area, meaning now we're done in Cackle Mound. This place is now 100% complete. So now let's go ahead and get out of here and warp back over to the zombie caravan. Back here at the zombie caravan, we want to go ahead and make a pit stop in the area, as now we want to actually head our way back into the keep out area so we can visit our good old friend Roddy Tops again. Now that we've raced her once and got the plot important thing out of the way, we can race her again for a completely different outcome. What do you say, Shantae? Want to race? Sure, let's go ahead and do it. So the race here against Roddy Tops is the exact same as it was before. Nothing has changed in this race whatsoever, but since now we're done with the plot important stuff with Cackle Mound, the reward for completing this race is going to be different. When we beat Roddy Tops the first time around, she led us to the said dungeon and opened it up for us. But now we made our way through Cackle Mound, she won't be leading us back through the same area because that'd just be super redundant and pointless. Why lead us into an open area? That just makes no sense. Doubly so in our case when we just pop back into Cackle Mound on our own to get the last warp squid, so we're completely done with the area. Winning this race this time around, we'll get a completely different reward. I'm curious to see what kind of reward we can get here, so just go ahead, make our way through the said race, get some good reaction timing here, pay very close attention to what's coming up on the right side of your screen. It's all just a reaction-based game. Just keep on paying attention, and you should be okay. You can make one, maybe two mistakes at most, and that's about it. Double trats! Here's the 40 gems. So, once you beat Cackle Mound, you can go ahead and race Roddy here again, and by doing so, you're only going to get paid 40 gems for beating Roddy in a race. In my honest opinion, this is not really worth it, as that's one of the worst options in the game to grind out money. It takes a very long time. The race itself isn't really that easy. It's a pretty difficult minigame at that. And there's just way faster ways in the game to grind out money. So, worth showing off, not really worth ever doing again. But now that we raced Roddy, let's go ahead and leave. Now we're pretty much done with every single thing here in the zombie caravan. We can come back here at any time to buy more items for cheap, but for now, let's just go ahead and leave the said area and see what the caravan is tonight, as now this thing is mobile. It's not in the same location as it was the first time around. Here we're in the Naga Wasteland, which is at the west side of Scuttletown, which is convenient for us because just up here on a ledge, we got ourselves a Firefly. You can get this Firefly as soon as you get the spider transformation by climbing a very specific portion of the wall here, and then use the monkey to climb up to the top, but it's not really recommended. How am I standing here? Get off! Okay. Had a mini heart attack by doing that, but yeah, there. You can climb up that section with the spider, and then the rest of it with monkey. You shouldn't be able to stand on that portion of the wall, but here we are. Let's get out of here. Passing the zombie caravan, we'll be making our way back over to the golden mines, which is convenient for us, because if we fly up to the top here, we got ourselves a heart holder just kind of floating up in the sky. And with that, that makes all the heart holders in the game. Now we have all 10 hearts, which is great. So at this point, that's one of the collectibles down. Let's go ahead and get the remaining set of collectibles. Let's head back in the Golem Mines and get ourselves the Warp Squid that is located in this set area. We couldn't have gotten this Warp Squid until we got the Harpy transformation, so now that we have the Harpy and we're in the area, we might as well get ourselves our final Warp Squid of the game. And getting this Warp Squid, we'll be able to teleport to any of the towns in the game, as we'll be able to learn all of the teleporting dances. Back here in the Golem Mines, we want to go ahead and make our way over to where the boss's lair is, as one of the rooms right before the boss room has a Warp Squid up in the ceiling. We can't get to this Warp Squid without the Harpy transformation, so now with the Harpy, let's go ahead and get our final Warp Squid here in the game. So let's go ahead and transform into our said Harpy transformation and make our way down to the bottom section of this long vertical shaft. Transforming the Harpy helps here because, simply put, this bird drops like a rock. So we can use this to our advantage and fall down right to the bottom a lot faster than just riding that said platform. You can also solve the puzzle here with the elephant again, but I opt just to fly over it and get our final warp squid of the game. Now with that, we have all the heart holders, all the fireflies, and all of the warp squids. So, at this point, let's go ahead and make our way over to Scuttletown to get the remaining talismans for our transformations. Here at the entry point in Scuttletown, we're going to go ahead, transform the Harpy, and get out of here, because we don't want to be at Scuttletown specifically, but we want to head east of Scuttletown to actually get a Harpy talisman. Just fly up to the top area here, and not too long of flying up in the air, we'll see some floating structures that holds the Harpy Talon. This talisman will allow me to attack in Harpy form. So now we have an attack for the Harpy. Simply put, you will use your claws to scratch up enemies, destroying them in the process. This will now make it so you can attack while flying around the game, which is pretty helpful. At this point, we only have one more thing left to collect, and that is the talisman for the spider. I need to head back over to the Oasis Town and Bandit Town to turn in our remaining warp squids, so this works out, as on the way, we can get the spider talisman. So let's go ahead and make our way over to Oasis Town first. And using the Harpy, we can just bypass all challenge and just fly over everything, which is extremely convenient for us. So be very careful where we're flying though, as we don't want to make a mistake here. So let's go ahead and transform back to Shantae's normal form, head down the ladder, and let's make our way through the said desert section. Careful of these dang bats. I have all the hearts at this point, so I don't have to worry about damage, but I don't want to die on the way over to our last set of destinations. That'd just be embarrassing. I want to just show this off real quick while we're here. If we transform into the Harpy and go right, you may have been wondering what's over to the right side here of this desert. Absolutely nothing. It's just an invisible wall, so we can't go past that section. That is the border of the said area. Nothing past it. A little unfortunate, but it's fine. Not every area needs to interconnect with something else. I don't like how I just fell down to that cactus. That was pretty painful. One issue I have with the Harpy is that, I swear, sometimes when you're trying to fly in this form, it just doesn't work. It's something about the momentum of the Harpy's flaps. It just feels unnatural. Later games get the Harpy controls a lot more toned down, so to say. They fix up a lot of the looseness of the controls compared to how this game is. It's fine, it works, but you can definitely tell in later games the Harpy transformation is a lot easier to control. Let's go ahead and turn in our warp squids here, so we can go ahead and learn the dance to teleport to Oasis Town. That's warp squid number 1, warp squid number 2, got you again for warp squid number 3, and then one more and we'll be all good. Wish you could just turn these all in at once, but unfortunately that is not the case. So there you go. We turned in all 4 warp squids for this area, so now let's go ahead and learn the dance to warp to Oasis Town. There you go, now we got our dance. We can warp here at any time we want, day or night, but at this point, unless we're coming back here to grind money from the... Okay, I did not mean to do that. You're welcome for returning, babies. I'm gonna leave now. If we ever want to come back here for the Gecko game, then that could be helpful, but let's just go ahead and get out of here for now. So now let's go ahead, transform the Harpy once again. This Harpy's getting a lot of use at this point, but all the stuff we need is just up in the air, so it kind of makes sense. Gotta use our wings to fly high. Speaking of flying high, let's immediately go to the skies here. You want to be very careful when flying around up here in the skies with the Harpy, simply because there's a new enemy up here that we haven't seen, called the Big Fly. These guys hurt. Don't even bother fighting them. They take a lot of hits. They do a good amount of damage. It's not worth fighting them. Just avoid them at all costs. Up in the sky here, we're looking for a very specific statue, as one of these statues on the top has our final talisman of the game, the Spider Venom. This talisman will allow me to attack in spider form. So now with this, we have every single item in Shantae. So if you want to see what the Spider Venom does, here it is. Transform into the spider, we will shoot out a projectile here with the spider. You can just mash the attack button to spam this. So this can be pretty useful for fighting enemies, doubly so if you want a ranged attack of some kind. That definitely helps. if you just don't want to get up close and personal with enemies. You know what else is a range attack? One of our items we have, the flashbolt. We've never used the flashbolts, so, yeah, I've kind of already made them obsolete, technically. It's fine. Honestly, I don't really find much of a use for a lot of the items here in Shantae, so that's why I haven't really been using them all that much in this playthrough. And I guess to demonstrate how the flashbolt works, we might as well, because that's really the only other item we haven't used in this entire adventure. The flashbolt is a triple shot here. It can do a lot of damage to enemies, and it does work as a nice projectile, but I, again, just don't find that many uses for it. This could be really helpful in combat, but a lot of times I'm just trying to avoid combat. Unless we're in a dungeon, I'm more or less a pacifist in this game, just because there's really no point in fighting a lot of enemies in Shantae. Just simply put, it's better to actually just play defensively and run away from a lot of stuff using vanish screens and such than to fight things. So that's kind of what I do. I kind of want to at least show off all these items just for the sake of the playthrough, but that's, yeah, about it. That's the only reason why we're buying them, 100% completion's sake. But now we made our way back over the bandit town, so let's go ahead and turn in our remaining warp squids and get our final warp dance of the game. Well, let's go ahead, find the warp hut. Here it is. Let's go ahead, head inside, and turn in our last remaining warp squids. This one's a nice shade of pink. Kind of like a brightish pink, though. Kind of blended with the background, I'm not gonna lie. It's almost the same shade. I do like how the squids here, though, on the wall are purple. That does contrast nicely with the room. It does pop. But with this, that's our final warp squid turned in, so now let's go ahead and learn the dance to teleport back to Bandit Town. This area, I don't really find all that needed to warp back to, but if you ever need to come back to this area for whatever reason, well, here's a dance to do so. And now with this, we're done. There's nothing left for us to collect, but there is one more thing left for us to do, and that's back over in Watertown. So let's go ahead and teleport our way back over to Watertown. Back here at Watertown, we want to go ahead and make our way over to the Firefly Shrine. As now that we have all the fireflies collected in the game, we can go ahead and see a reward is for collecting all these mythical creatures. Hey, I got enough fireflies to light up these runes! Wow, I can use this dance to swap 10 gems for every empty heart that needs refilling. Very nice. So, just as Shantae said there, we learned a new dance that can heal us called the Healing Dance. To activate the said dance, we want to go ahead and press down, up, and then A to go ahead and heal all of our hearts. But by doing so, we do pay 10 gems per heart. So this can add up after a while. This is actually cheaper than using large vials to heal yourself up to full. But if you're near town, still just use the bathhouse as that entirely free. And maybe small vials could be a little bit cheaper. It really just depends on how much health you need. But the Healing Dance, in a sense, will replace all your healing vials in the game. And it will for me, as I do find a lot of use for the said Healing Dance. Get a little bit late in your adventure, but where we're going, we want as much health as we can get. But now that we got ourselves the Healing Dance and we collected all of the remaining items here in Sequin Land for Shantae, we're gonna go ahead and end things here. Next time on Let's Play Shantae, we'll make our way back to Scuttletown and see if Mimic can help us locate Risky's hideout to stop her plans once and for all. I'll see you guys next time.